Spring is in the air. There's a new lightness and aliveness around us. We can get outdoors. The days are longer. The sun is brighter. The air is warmer, even here in the UK. But how can we really make the most of spring energy and use it to our advantage? Health Explorer Neil Fellows here to get healthy and fit and stay healthy and fit and do it in a way that's natural and unique to you. Please subscribe and hit the bell. Today we're talking about spring energy, what it is and how we could really harness it. Joining me to talk about this is harmonizing coach Dawn Breslin. So Dawn, over the last year we've covered summer energy, we've talked about autumn energy, and we've also covered winter energy. So let's complete the set. Let's talk about spring energy. Tell us about the energy and how it's changing as we come out of winter into spring.
Yeah, so we've kind of, gosh, it's an interesting time because it's almost like a double winter we've had, with the pandemic and with the whole winter phase, So it's been pretty heavy for a lot of people, and it's almost like, I don't know about you, but in wintertime, I was noticing I was sleeping. I'm self-employed, so I was sleeping later in the morning. And it was really difficult to kind of get the day moving. So I was in this kind of cocoon, this sleepy slumber, and that's completely natural. In wintertime, if we look to nature, everything's kind of sleeping and it's slowing down. It might even look like it's dead. The ground is we can't see any plants, we can't see any new growth. And then the sun starts to rise in the sky and in it comes. And this week it came in, although the spring equinox is the 21st of March. This week, for me, we had a blast of sun and it was just incredible. The inner movement that I felt, incredible inner movement and physically the body just moving up towards the sun, face to the sun, back to the sun, arms up in the air. And it's almost like the plants and the trees and the sap is starting to rise with the light every day, the extended periods of light. And as humans, we can embody this energy and it activates us. It's fascinating. It's like, we live within these incredible cycles that, I've talked about it before, where, autumn and winter is almost like the in-breath. It's like slowing down, breathing inwards, reflecting, contemplating, letting go, and then spring and summer energy just rises up. And this cyclical nature of the season has an immediate impact on our energy, our productivity, our creativity, our inspiration, and this surge that comes now. And especially what I've noticed is through my own personal journey, through complete burnout, and then spending 3 years really attuning and aligning with nature. I'm so attuned to it now. And I probably get even more of a surge than a lot of people because I'm just so connected with nature. I'm so connected with the light, the energy. And one of the things that I do is I'll walk in nature, I would say almost every day. And I'm kind of, the other morning I went out into the woods and someone accused me of being fattest when I said this, but I saw the fattest robins. I saw the fattest squirrels running across my path. And there was just, with the morning light, all the little animals and creatures in the forest, the snowdrops, the smell of wild garlic, it was all stirring up. And I could just feel the movement within myself. So these energies, they move us, whether we're conscious of it or not. They're moving us, and there is a time for action and there is a time for rest. And for sure, spring is about moving, leaping into action, breaking down that cocoon, moving out from the sleepy slumber and starting to move into new projects. Yeah, and things, I was looking at the light the other day and I was just thinking how light brings hope. You know, there's something, even in the middle of a pandemic, the light brings hope. It's like, you know, there's possibility. And I know from what I've read is light is coded, you know, and it's almost coded with wisdom. It's coded with knowledge. It's coded with energy. And these packets of light, when they arrive with us, they open up new possibilities. So I think spring is about possibility. We're now in that period where if we tune in and if we listen to what's going on inside, for the majority of us, there's some people that are living out of sync with the seasons, but if for the majority of us, if we start to tune in, possibilities start to rise. We start to think differently. We see things differently, things that we were struggling with in the darkness of winter, you know, ideas that we couldn't move. Suddenly there are new inspirations en route. So, oh, thank goodness, spring is on its way this year. Thank goodness.
Just listening to you talking about this, I'm just really imagining how our body language has changed, just changing seasons, you know, gone from the winter, looking down and feeling huddled up, to the spring and feeling a little more open and expansive. I mean, spring has got a really lovely sort of forward-feeling energy about it. But are there any things that we should really avoid doing during spring, and what specific things should we be looking to do during spring?
Well, I think so. Spring is about movement. It's about new beginnings. It's about possibility. So one of the things that we can do in springtime is start to journal, you know, spending time journaling. It's also quite good to journal when you're in winter phases, because, you know, at that point in winter, sometimes we get close to certain truths that we don't have the same access to when we're busy, when we're buzzing around. So winter can be great for journaling as well. But I would say that when this inspiration starts to move through us, I think definitely starting to journal our thoughts, journal our feelings, you know, write down what feels like it's emerging. And that can be a great time to just begin to map out new beginnings. In the Celtic calendar, springtime was the new year. It was the time of new beginnings. It's a time of thinking forward. It's the time of setting intentions, because you're going to have this window from spring to the end of summer where energy is going to be rising. Every single day the sun rises in the sky, there's going to be more sunlight, more energy around. So naturally, the sleepy human beings from the winter just go up and up and up. And then we kind of, by summertime, which we've covered before, we kind of get into this frantic summertime energy, busy, you know, out playing football or, you know, being on beaches and running and all that sort of stuff. We're coming up into that phase really, really gently right now. We're not quite at the frantic phase, but we're certainly in movement. But as I said earlier, some people might find that they're out of sync with the season. You know, if you're suffering from grief or you've gone through a big loss, you know, COVID's impacted you, if you lost your job, you know, or you're frightened about your job, what I would say is, you know, you're not going to be feeling that, you know, all that excitement. Although I would say on a more subtle level, I think that light energy will carry us. It will actually move us through, you know, on a subconscious level in a different way from how we're experiencing things in the winter phase. So spring is a time for action. It's a time for movement. It's, you know, it's declutter your house, you know. I mean, I'm talking about on two levels, you know, on a physical level, it's a great time for spring cleaning the house, you know, getting into all the dusty corners, you know, tidying out the kitchen cupboards, tidying out your wardrobe, throwing out things that you no longer need, letting all the old energy go, and you will feel a change in your energy. You'll feel a change in your body. You'll feel a change in your psychology by doing that decluttering. But maybe it's also a time for letting go what wasn't working in the winter phases, the stuff you were holding on to that was heavy. Maybe it's time now to say, right, it's time for change.
Yeah.
It's time for change. So the natural sync with this time of the year is about change and movement moving forward.
Nice. So from what we've talked about today, what would be something that someone could take away and try as a little challenge for them?
I think the one thing that I was thinking about was it's something that I'm really, really focused on in the work that I do, is helping people get the most from a day. And one of the ways to do that is that, you know, so much of our lives are focused on output. It's about, you know, ticking the to-do list, getting everything done. From the minute we get up, it's like, here's my routine for my day: shower, work, exercise, you know, get on with my day. So one of the things that I thought about might be quite a nice idea is if people were to think about introducing a really beautiful early morning routine that is nourishing for them. So it's not your normal routine. And I'm talking about getting up a bit earlier as well. So what I've noticed, because I try to live as much in harmony with the seasons as I can, I don't have blackout blinds on my bedroom windows. And what I've noticed is the light in the morning is rising earlier. So where in winter I was getting up at 8 o'clock or 8:30, what I'm noticing is I'm starting to wake up around 6. I'm starting to wake up around 7. Now, by the time it comes to summertime, I will be up at 5:30, 6 o'clock every morning. I do it. And the reason that I do that is I love to claim the day before the day begins. I like to create a routine that nourishes and nurtures me. Now, as we come into spring, that might feel like a big shift for some people to get up 2 hours earlier. But as the seasons change, you could even start off with 1 hour earlier. And there are so many things that you can do first thing in the morning that just feed your soul and bring you into a bit of a state of bliss. And this whole idea is around grasping a bit of life. Sometimes people's schedules are so tight that they're just so busy doing work, doing life, kids, everything. And they don't get that moment for themselves. They don't get that time just to receive. So, when I think about things like morning routines, sometimes someone's running routine is not about receiving. It's actually just about running, and it's making sure that they get the time done, and and that they're running for fitness. I often go running in the woods. Maybe I'm just being completely ridiculous by calling it running, because I go to the woods and I kind of get over there, and then if I see a squirrel or a wee fat robin, I find myself just stopping and standing and watching and just basking in presence. I love to get up in the morning and sit on my sofa with a cup of tea. And I live at the beach, and I just look out the window, and I can sit on that sofa for 45 minutes and just be in presence. Maybe for me with some devotional music that works for me in the background. Some people, it might be about getting up and finding somebody that really resonates with you, that you can do some meditation with, like a teacher, and light a candle. Don't go putting big harsh lights on first thing in the morning. Light a candle. Do some meditation, maybe do some stretching in silence, whatever feels right. It's whatever. Morning routines, when I teach this on my program, I teach people how to kind of capture time at the beginning of their days. And every day your energy fluctuates, it changes. And there's on different days you might feel like doing different things. Like maybe the run in the woods feels amazing on one day. And then the next day, actually sitting on the sofa and just being in presence, and then maybe a gentle stretch is exactly what your body needs. So challenge is to try and work out what it is for you, kind of mindful. When you reach a state of bliss, let me try and describe this. It's kind of getting into a state of presence where your mind isn't interrupted, where you're not thinking about what needs to be done. You're just so in presence. And in that state of presence, it's almost like you're receiving, I don't know, energy, you're receiving wisdom, you're receiving just a gentle vibration throughout your body, just from whatever it is that resonates for you. And so creating morning routines, just about mixing up, giving yourself permission to have whatever you need on that day. And again, people get into habits of, this is my routine every morning and this is what I need to do. It's kind of about stepping into the mystery a bit more. It's carving more time, but the joy of experiencing this time. Do you know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about that bliss, that presence?
I do.
Yeah. It's like, and getting into that state, it tops you up at the beginning of a day. So you might think to yourself, oh my goodness, I've got to get up 2 hours earlier. How am I going to do that? But the benefits of what you receive, and it's like you start to feel time, you experience time. So I feel when the sun is rising in the sky, getting up in the morning, standing at your window, watching the sunrise if you can do it, or just seeing the light and being with the early morning light. Light has a beautiful quality first thing in the morning. It has a gorgeous quality last thing at night before it fades. And bathing and being in those times, we just receive so much. It's receiving beauty and just unplugging from the matrix and stepping into the mystery and building your little temple of whatever it is that works for you in that time can nourish you. So that is my challenge. It's how could you get up a bit earlier and create some time to receive a little bit of bliss before the noise and the busyness of people and life come in on your day.
Nice one, Dawn. Thank you for that. It makes it practical for people just to find that sort of routine for themselves. And actually, I would just add something a little bit more to your challenge. Try not to put on your phone before you actually enjoy whatever it is that's part of your bliss routine, I think, would be another piece. Dawn, thank you for your time today. Really do appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks, Neil. Bye.
Each week, I ask our experts to leave us with a challenge. It's just an idea. It's something that we could try. If we enjoy it, we can stick with it. If it doesn't work for us, we can throw it out and just keep looking for something else that can work. I'm going to be taking this week's challenge. You can see my findings from this challenge in our challenge roundup video, which is a monthly summary covering all of the challenges our experts have shared. To get that video and all of our latest health and wellness uploads, including interviews and reviews, subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified whenever we post. And if this channel can help your friends and family, please share it with them too. If you want to get proactive with your Health Total Wellness Club at developing health quests over at questly.life, join while we're developing the site and get access to health quests that immediately personalise your health. You'll get to identify which of 10 critical health categories need your attention. You'll be able to track your progress and you'll be able to help us develop the platform too. I'll put a link in the description and I'll see you in the next video.